An invisible danger lurking in the soil, the water, the air. Lead. In this town in Zambia, people have been battling the same symptoms for decades. Memory problems, fatigue, headaches and stomach pain. Children are hit the hardest. Lead attacks their developing brains and can lead to lifelong damage. Many point to one source, this mine. The United Nations has called this one of the most lead-polluted places on Earth. Around 200,000 people are affected. Nearly every child carries dangerous levels of lead in their blood.
I can't explain you. If I continue explaining, you see my tears coming down. We are put in dangerous position, some of us.
Today, they're living with irreversible damage, many without treatment. So who is responsible? Jane Nalengo first noticed something was wrong when she sent her daughter to buy salt. Elizabeth came home with cooking oil instead. Soon the problems showed up at preschool too.
She forgot what she'd learned. The teacher said she didn't understand the lessons. I thought it was better to not waste money, to take her out of school and enroll her again later.
At age 6, Elizabeth was diagnosed with anemia caused by lead poisoning. Her blood contained 58 micrograms of lead per deciliter, Jane says. Lead is toxic. The World Health Organization says levels above 5 micrograms already require action to reduce exposure.
I felt so bad. When her father asked about the diagnosis, I burst into tears and told him she had anemia because of the lead.
Elizabeth often feels too weak to play. She has a constant cough. Recently, rashes appeared across her skin. She should take a tablet daily to reduce the lead in her body, but the medicine isn't always available. Her other medication is expensive and causes side effects. To pay for them, Jane sells homemade donuts. We'll return to Jane and Elizabeth later. This mine is the reason why 95% of children living nearby have elevated lead levels in their blood. According to the United Nations, they are the highest in the world. The British Rhodesia Broken Hill Company opened the mine in 1904 during the colonial era. The government later nationalized it. When the mine shut down in 1994, lead dust was left in open waste dumps. According to Human Rights Watch, that lead is affecting around 200,000 people in Kabwe to this day. Since 2020, residents have been pursuing a class action lawsuit against the mining company Anglo American. The plaintiffs are seeking compensation for children and women of childbearing age, groups most vulnerable to lead exposure, and want a full cleanup of the contaminated land. The lawsuit argues Anglo American played a key role in the mine's technical, medical and safety operations between 1925 and 1974. Anglo American told DW it had only provided certain technical services to the mine, but at no stage owned or operated it. Zambia's Ministry of Mines wrote that the government commenced environmental remediation activities under the Zambia Mining and Environmental Remediation and Improvement Project. But Human Rights Watch says little has changed. The government is not involved in the lawsuit. Mathias worked in the Kabwe mine for more than 30 years. He was a lab analyst, quality testing lead, zinc and other minerals.
Now, by repeating, you make a mistake, you are delaying the result. The fumes which were coming from the furnace was devastating effects on our bodies.
He says he often suffered from severe constipation, stomach pain, weakness and memory loss. Some of his co-workers, young men at the time, died from lead poisoning, he says. We've been unable to independently verify that claim. He shows me his access cards from before and after nationalization.
After Rhodesia Broken Hill, we came to Zambia Broken Hill. It's mine.
But working conditions didn't change, Mathias says.
I felt bad anyway. It was a betrayal by one, the Anglo American people, two, my government. Both of them, what they wanted was for us to make them lead and zinc and sell it to the world market. So they just wanted the money.
He takes us to where he worked.
We are going straight now.
Past the mining waste.
These are the general offices. This is my lab. If I can have a passage, no, it's closed. Because all of these presidents and their cabinets, they are quite ignorant. They've never worked in the mines, most of them. Lead poisoning. It is a story to them. They are afraid of being involved. If the world knows, the world will come and attack the officials. Why didn't you tell your people that this was so?
The dangers were known early. As far back as the 1940s, an investigation by colonial authorities found a high risk of lead poisoning at the Kabwe mine. But Mathias says workers there grasped the scale of the threat only years later.
I can't explain you. If I continue explaining, you see my tears coming down. They were going around, taking us to the hospital to extract some blood so that they test us if you've got too much lead in your body. And after they find that you're in the stage which is very bad for you to continue working in that department, you are removed.
But after 2 or 3 months, they'd be sent back again. A 2022 medical study shows average blood lead levels near the mine reach up to 60 micrograms per deciliter. Mathias says his son, now an adult, suffered permanent developmental damage. At the time, no help was given.
They never left us with any medical help. Because the Anglo American left, they didn't give us anything.
At 83, Mathias is not among the plaintiffs in the lawsuit. The case focuses on children and women of childbearing age, particularly vulnerable groups.
But how the person who was inside the plant is suffering, inhaling all that is thick smoke. Now how can I be out, exempted from being compensated?
Mining still continues here today. Simon Chimanga has worked as an artisanal miner since 1988. From the start, he had symptoms.
Loss of memory, stomach pain, you eat, you stay maybe 1 month minus going to toilet until you go to clinic.
For a while he received treatment, then that stopped. The symptoms keep coming back.
Last year I went to lead testing. They found me with 88% lead poisoning in my body.
He mines lead and zinc to sell to Chinese buyers. In a good week he earns about 300 kwacha, roughly 13 euros, barely enough to support his 5 children. And it's dangerous work.
Sometimes it collapses, you die, or maybe any injuries. We risk our lives.
He says he would rather find safer work, like farming, but he lacks the money and the job prospects. Over 30 years since the mine closed, and lead is still everywhere, in the air, soil and water. No one can escape it. Jane works constantly to keep her home free of dust. She cleans the kitchen every day.
I sprinkle water because I'm afraid the lead dust could contaminate the children's food. The vegetables and fruit we grow in the garden are also contaminated with lead. Anyone who grows food here cannot eat it without worrying. The same when we fetch water from the well. How much lead does that contain?
Jane uses this water only for washing and watering plants. For drinking water, she's been advised to add chlorine, though that doesn't protect against lead. Jane has developed many routines to protect her family. Still, she says, her daughter's condition is getting worse by the day.
I wish the government would financially support us to move away from all this lead, so my children can finally live in safety.
She worries too for her 2 grandchildren. Both were exposed to lead before birth. She fears their entire lives may already be shaped by it. Today is a good day. Elizabeth feels strong enough to play with her friends. And though Jane knows the water she gives Elizabeth may be harming her, she has no alternative.
Sometimes she wakes up weak, and I feel bad when I think that white people brought this whole lead problem to Zambia with this mine. It hurts me deeply.
She hopes the lawsuit against the mining company succeeds and gives her and her family the chance to leave, to finally move away from a home that is making them sick.